If all my fragrances disappeared, these would be the top 5 designer fragrances I would absolutely have to repurchase no matter what because they are truly standouts in my collection, and in my mind, they are one of the more unique fragrances I have ever tried. So let's get into it. But before we get started, if this is your first time watching, hello, my name is Anya. I love fragrances and I post videos on this channel every single Wednesday along with bonus videos in between. So I am going to start off with one of my favorite musk fragrances of all time. This happens to be Dior's Pure Poison. If you love musks and white florals and you want something that's a bit of a clean musk, but you still want something that's very elegant, that has that richness of the white florals, this is absolutely one to try. I love this scent. The projection on this is beautiful. The longevity is out of this world. I get compliments on this even when I don't expect them. Like, I've gotten compliments on this perfume from my coworker and on dates, things like that. So this is definitely a perfume that I consider very versatile. Whenever I want to genuinely smell pretty, I wear this. And when I just want something that makes me feel good, I also go for this one. And I clearly have used this one up quite a lot. This was in my most used perfumes of 2023 video, and I was actually surprised when I was preparing for that video at how much I've used up of this, because I've introduced so many new perfumes in my collection that I wasn't expecting to use this one up as much as I have, but quite honestly, this is one of my favorite perfumes of all time. I'm not even talking designer, and I'm not being a designer snob at all, but I think there's so many other perfumes that have been introduced in the market lately, and sometimes I feel like designer perfumes tend to smell a little bit similar to each other. This is definitely not that. It's such a beautiful, unique scent, and to me this smells very comforting. So again, if you're looking for nice clean musk and you really like your white florals like jasmine and gardenia, this is certainly one to try, and it's one of the most used perfumes in my collection. This next one is a new addition to my collection that I just love. It's Replicas On a Date, and this is supposed to be a perfume with grapes and roses. I believe it also has black currant, but the note here that really stands out to me is an almost aromatic interpretation of a rose, and I absolutely love this scent. I do get compliments on it. It's an eau de toilette, so it's lighter, so you wouldn't expect it to project, but it kind of has like that light projection to the point that if I'm outside and I'm like sitting across from someone and like a wind blows through where we're sitting, they can smell what I'm wearing, and I usually get a compliment. So this is absolutely one that I just love. I was kind of pushing back on purchasing this one because I tend to be quite discerning about what perfumes I want to purchase. However, I knew after going to Sephora multiple times and always spraying the tester for this perfume on my skin and then going outside and going about my day and getting compliments, I knew this was one I wanted to purchase, and I'm very glad I did. I have a small, little, cute little bottle of it, and I think this is honestly quite ideal for me since I have so many perfumes in my collection at this point. I need smaller sizes so I can actually use them up and be a little bit more judicious about what I have. But yes, Replicas On a Date, in my mind, a very unique scent. This smells, in terms of uniqueness, kind of similar to Gucci Guilty Absolute, if we're talking about like a slightly aromatic take on a floral, but this does smell quite different. However, if you like Gucci Guilty Absolute, you will most certainly also gravitate towards this one. This does have geranium in it as well, so I figured might as well mention that since I know some people are sensitive to that note. I personally really like it in my floral fragrances. I think it adds a little bit of a uniqueness to it, and I like the aromatic touch that it lends to a lot of perfumes. So yeah, Replicas On a Date, such a beautiful fragrance, and I'm very happy to finally have a bottle of this one in my collection. This next one is a gourmand fragrance, and again, it's not every day that you're able to find a gourmand perfume in the designer category because that usually doesn't happen. However, I think I would say the past year, the designer brands have really taken it upon themselves to release really good gourmand perfumes. So sometimes these perfumes include gourmand notes, but other times they literally smell like gourmand fragrances, and this is definitely one of them. It's Lancome's Idole Nectar. And I know the Idole one is very popular. Idole has like a very signature rose note that is very instantly recognizable for me personally, but this flanker is that signature rose paired with a note of popcorn and caramel, and quite truly, this is one of my favorite fragrances because it has that sweetness coming from the rose, but it also has like that very unique caramelized popcorn take on the rose. I just love it. So if you're looking for like a floral, but you don't want to smell like a typical rose fragrance, not that rose is a typical note. I feel like rose kind of like gets a bad rap sometimes because people just don't want to smell too floral, but this is like a floral with a gourmand element that still smells like a floral. So if I had to kind of meter it, if I had to choose, okay, is this a floral scent or is this a gourmand scent? I would say this is primarily a floral scent with gourmand accents, which makes it very unique because a lot of times you see caramel being introduced as like in a fragrance, or let's just say like in a designer fragrance, and it kind of overtakes the whole thing. Like for example, in Churros 71, I know there's a body mist, but that's a caramel perfume and it pretty much overtakes the entire fragrance. However, this is definitely a more elevated take on caramel paired with other notes. So I really love this perfume. I quite honestly wish I had gotten a bigger bottle because I most certainly will be using this one up. And yes, it's one of my favorite perfumes that I absolutely love, and I keep getting compliments on this one, and for good reason. This next fragrance is a must-have for me. I constantly need to have this in my collection. I have already purchased a backup. I might just purchase another one at some point because this is how much I love this particular fragrance. L'Imperatrice by Dolce Gabbana, such a beautiful perfume. Let me show you how much I've used up of it. I love this scent. It works very well in the summertime. It projects beautifully. However, I personally like to wear it all year round because it's also a really good fragrance to spray on just when I'm at home and when I want something like super comforting, when I want something that I very much love. This is a scent that I have very positive associations with in terms of scent memories. It's a very comforting scent to me. It is a watermelon cyclamen perfume with rhubarb. So it's a sweet perfume, but it's a bit tart. It's so pretty, and it's on the lighter side. So it's not going to be cloying. It's not going to stay with you all day. It's just going to be a light scent that you can spray on and instantly feel refreshed. I think that's what really draws people to this scent in particular because it's a very refreshing perfume. But for me, it's so much more than that because it also has that added level of like comfort and coziness. I get that personally whenever I smell this. I don't know if everyone else does, but I would say first and foremost, this is a lovely, refreshing scent. It's on the lighter side. It's not too heavy. To some people, it smells artificial. But then again, when I think of like the notes of rhubarb and cyclamen, I think cyclamen doesn't really have a scent, so I feel like this might be like an artificial interpretation of cyclamen. I might be wrong. But to me, this smells like a very refreshing, tart scent. And I absolutely love it. And I don't think I've smelled anything quite like this one. It's like a fizzy, refreshing, kind of like a drink-inspired scent. But it's so great. I love this perfume. And yes, I have a backup of the larger bottle of this one because truly I cannot go without the scent. Yeah, no, like if they literally pulled it off the market, I would be so upset and I'd probably buy 2 more bottles because I love this scent. I cannot go without it. It's my go-to summer scent. And honestly, whenever I'm having a bad day, I also go for this perfume because it's truly exceptional for me, in my personal opinion. That's why it's in my top 5. This next perfume is so unique, and to some people, it smells horrible. To others, such as myself, I think it's one of the best perfumes of all time. And of course, I'm talking about a Mugler scent. This is Mugler's Aura. Now, I wanted to really keep this video streamlined, so I could have mentioned Alien, I could have mentioned Alien Fusion. Both of those I have, both of those I love, but I don't wear those as much anymore. But the one I constantly keep coming back to is Aura. Truly one of the more unique scents out there. And I think this scent is particularly groundbreaking because you don't often smell a scent combo or like a set of notes like this in a designer fragrance. And this is a very green perfume. So it has like green notes, but with vanilla and a bit of rhubarb. So it almost smells medicinal. And it's possibly not a beginner friendly fragrance because you have to be in the mood to wear it. You have to be okay with having a presence. You have to be okay with being bold when it comes to your fragrance because this is truly an exceptional perfume. It's very unique smelling. And particularly, I will say this, I discovered that this perfume very much shines in tropical humid climates. I went to Costa Rica a few years ago and I took this perfume with me, and when I tell you, it projected so much more than I'd ever imagined. Of course, I live in the US and Costa Rica is a completely different climate. This projected like crazy when I wore one or two sprays when I went to Costa Rica. But yes, this is truly one of my favorite scents. It's so unique. There's really quite nothing like it that I have smelled personally. If you have smelled something similar, definitely let me know. But I love this one, and it, like the bottle, it looks so cool. It's like you're like, it's kind of like an Amazon rainforest kind of like forest nymph kind of aesthetic. That's what I get whenever I look at this. But yeah, I love this perfume. Honestly, I love all of these fragrances. I mean, should I do like a ranking of which ones I think are like my favorite most worn? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. So I would say my number one is this one. L'Imperatrice. Honestly, can't go without it. It's my favorite. Then I would say I love Pure Poison. Just because it's very versatile and I get a lot of compliments on it, and I feel like I can wear it every day of my life and it would still be an amazing option. Then I love Aura, of course. This is so, so good. Like, I mean, I already explained why I love it so much to you. Then, of course, we have Idole Nectar. This is a beautiful fragrance. There's nothing bad I have to say about it at all. And then, of course, number 5, followed up with Replica On a Date. I'm ranking these, yes, but if I did lose all my perfumes, I will tell you, first and foremost, I would purchase all 5 of these perfumes because I love them so much, and I think they are truly, truly exceptional fragrances, and I'm so happy to have these in my collection. So these are my top 5 designer fragrances of the moment. I love designer perfumes. I'm just very picky about what comes into my collection, since designer perfumes tend to be one of the most accessible categories out there. So I am perfectly fine with taking a little bit longer to purchase a designer fragrance, just because I can walk into a Sephora or an Ulta or a department store and just spray a fragrance on and try it on that way. So yes, these are my top 5 picks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I'll see you next time.